Oh, and welcome back to the channel. So in this video, it's quite a short one. It's just kind of making use of a Academy Messerschmitt 109 K4 that I had, and utilising it with some leftover parts from an Eduard G6 and trying just to improve a few areas here and there. My original intention was to use what I'm showing you here, which is Hartmann's Red Tulip, and use the cartograph decals that come with the Academy kit and the metal barrels. And as I went on through, I was trying to get this ready for a show, so the Nationals at Telford in the UK. So I thought I'd just go for a scheme with some generic decals and get it done. So that's what we actually ended up doing, which is what's in the cover photo. Just showing you the instructions there. It's a pretty basic kit. I won't it's a bit beyond my pay grade to know where this kit originates from, but I'm not too sure this is an Academy original mold. I think it's either closely taking inspiration from other models that were around at the time, or it's utilising molds of kits that were already in existence. But nevertheless, it's a simple enough kit, and it's okay. Eduard are releasing a K4 hopefully this year now, so I imagine this one will be blown into the long grass. But nevertheless, it was a nice build, and you can see here this is the rudder I want to add in. So for that, I want to put this new fin on, which I've already done on one side, and then that takes the rudder and gives us a bit more height to the tailplane, which I just like the idea of. I'm not sure if this is accurate or not. I'm not really too worried about that. I just wanted to kind of give it a go. So that means measuring by eye a little bit, and then going at it with a razor saw that's quickly coming along, as you can see there, cutting off the moulded in rudder, and then making room for the fin section as well to be put in. So I'm just going above the section there that takes the horizontal stabilizers, and using that as a guide. Super gluing on the new fin section using the other side as a master, which I've already done, and then this gap that you can see where at the back end where the rudder is going to go up against, I actually sand that away to make that flush. You can see here where I'm using some Eduard parts. So we had the instrument panel and the gun housing that's in the wheel, the footwell of the cockpit. And you can see there as well, we've got a propeller, and you can see the how much nicer the blades are from the Eduard kit, and offering that up to the Academy nose there, which we're going to use, the spinner. I think that sort of speaks for itself, just a bit more finesse. This is the Academy section with the Eduard gun housing there between the two rudder pedals and the Eduard rudder pedals, and just using some basic seat belts there as well. Painted up the cockpit sidewalls as well. This is all ROM 66, using MRP with Tamiya XF85 rubber black probably as a base. And you can see there we've got Eduard exhausts again that were left over, and we've just put a shroud over there as well, which was always apparent on one side. And you can see there I have just checked using whatever paint I had in the airbrush for painting something else. I've just sprayed that over the rudder and tailplane there, fin, sorry, to see how the join's looking. And you can see there again the Eduard exhaust, very nice. They're always also hollowed out, so it saved the job, and they're much better than the Academy offerings. So just little things like this as I go along. It's just a very quick and simple upgrade to this slightly older kit. We've got the wheels being glued together as well. Again, so this is from, you get a lot of generic sprues in Eduard kits, and because I've built a few G6s and I've got a G10, I just went through having a look at any parts of the kit that were left over. So that's where I got the late wheels from. I also got a part of the rear cockpit, which has got this extended section in it. This armoured glass and the canopies, they're actually from the Academy kit. You can't obviously use Eduard parts because it's different sizes. And then we've got a couple sections there as well. I'm going to put a drop tank on this one, so I'm again using Eduard parts all the way through. some of these don't end up on the finished model, I think, because I said I was taking it to a show. I didn't put them on, and as I'd taken the photos, it never made it. But you can see the suggestion of what I was going to use. So we've got the one section of the wing there, the lower section with the wheel wells moulded in. And that's where we're just offering up the mount for the drop tank, where it's going to go. Obviously, I just glue that on and do it all by eye. And we've got the upper sections of the wings as well going on. And you've got to drill out a part there to take these raised bulges that go on the top of the wing. I'm imagining that's something to do with the tyres from the underside. Funny enough, you see it on one of the very first prototypes of the 109 had that as well. So this section here, like I said, at the rear cockpit, I've just utilised a section out of the Eduard kit there as well. Just got this box. I did know what that was for. I think it's something to do with a radio or something like that's been moved, and it's just juts out there. But I could well be wrong. I did get the books out for this, so I knew it at the time, but I'm probably doing this 2 months after the fact now, so memory's not quite as sharp as I'd like it to be for that. You can see the canopy going on. It's quite a nice join. We're going to have a closed up canopy. And for the masking of that, I just did that by cutting strips of Tamiya tape and then going around the edge and just sort of showing you here the clearance that I'm hoping for, which is there. Once I've put this rear section on, it gets rid of that seam and it also leaves enough room. And we've got the these are the seat belts that I used as well. So AML generic 148 Luftwaffe seat belts, very nice. Obviously not pre-painted like the Eduard stuff. Very cheap, easy to use. And then the instrument panel is again straight out of I think the G10 Eduard kit, because I've got an etch set for it. And I've just used the decal that comes with it, so that's gone on very nice, better than I could ever hope to paint, and quite an impressive looking thing actually. Good way to do it. So the kit went together fine, as you can see, and then I've changed the scheme. So we've got a yellow rudder and a yellow marking on the cowling there as well. Really simple stuff. Glued it together, sanded it back. Not much of a problem. Not much need for filler. I do apologise, I didn't film the painting, but it was simple using MRP all the way over. So from this primer stage, you used MRP 76 underneath, and I used MRP 74 and 75 for the uppers. I used extra decal markings, so for the white crosses, the Balkan Kreuz on the upper and lowers, and I did spray the chevron. I couldn't find a decal that fit correctly for the chevron on the fuselage, so I did cut that on a cutting machine that I've got, the Cricut. Now we're just going over with some enamel washes. So again, I wanted to do something very fast and not very pretty for this. However, I was quite pleased how it turned out. So I just went over every single panel line like this, just going on a bit heavy with some enamel washes, dark washes. So this is on the underside, so it wasn't quite as dark, and then used a darker wash on the upper side. And then almost going at it like the old flory clay wash we used to do when we started. I guess people still do, but I haven't used it for some time. And then with an enamel finish, just wiped off this heavy panel lining and just let it kind of bleed into the surface, bleed into the panel lines. And I was reasonably happy with the simple but effective finish, which was exactly what I was looking for, to get a 148 fighter on the table to a deadline for a show. I think I had about a couple of weeks to get this finished, and it did, and I was very happy with it. So there you can see me rubbing it off the wing, and the finished result is quite a clean looking aircraft at a glance, but you'll see in the finished photos it does actually come up pretty well, that panel lining, and it leaves a bit of a patina across, which I was reasonably happy with, to make it look like a late war fighter. This being a K4, you see more abandoned than you did actually in active service when you look at old photos. So there we are. That's a very quick, snappy video. Hope that's of interest. Just bringing this older kit to life with a few snazzy updates from Eduard. Very interested in getting the Eduard K4 when it comes out later this year, so let's hope that happens. That's the missing one in their lineage of 109s, and it should be a very interesting project. So let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Bit of a snappier video. This isn't something that's to come in future. This is just the way this one worked out. So as always, thanks for watching. And if you like what you see, there's a couple ways you can help out the channel down below, especially by subscribing. And there's a couple links in the description box. As always, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.